I've been working with my hands a long time. I just felt I needed to have some more in-depth understanding and just get it re-inspired a bit as well. I just love that whole journey of learning. So yes, my day-to-day thing is I'm teaching up in town 2 days a week. I do a lot of private one-to-one work with people of all ages and different backgrounds. I originally came through dance, so I had that sort of movement background originally. And so I'm very interested in movement.
Great. So you've been teaching yoga for a while now. How long have you been teaching yoga for?
So I started teaching in about 1996. So yeah, quite a long time.
Yes. And what type of yoga do you do?
I started my first practice, my original practice was an Ashtanga practice, so quite dynamic. And I've sort of morphed over the years into a much more fluid flow type of practice. I think the way that I teach is sort of slow with awareness, I would say.
Lovely. Can I ask you how you came across the course? How did you find out about us?
I was at the yoga show in London and I walked past and I said, oh, this looks interesting. And I had a good chat with the person behind the desk, and she gave me one of your flyers and I took it home and stuck it on my fridge, and then thought, I'm going to do this. So yeah, that's how I learned about it.
Fantastic. So you got a background in fascia, would you say? You said you'd done a course on fascia.
So I did an anatomy training when I started teaching at the studio I teach in now, and the studio opened with the whole idea of intelligent movement, and it was about 10 years ago. And Joanne Avison was teaching our anatomy, which is where I first really learnt about the whole concept of fascia. We were learning the anatomy trains, continuities, and how to look at the body and look at the yoga practice through that sort of lens of those different patterns, if you like. And then also to introduce micro movement and pulsation and sort of mix things up a little bit more and do sequences that were a little bit more interesting than just that more conventional yoga.
Great.
But I still felt that even after that, the course was about a year. It was over the period of a year, but I still felt like I was just touching the surface, really, with my understanding.
Okay. So obviously the course is called Moving Fascia Foundations. So, I imagine for a lot of people that are going to be listening to this, they're going to go, oh my God, but she's got such a long experience of fascia. How do you feel the course? What, has it given you something?
Huge. Yeah, I'm still going back over the videos and kind of I'm actually, writing things down a lot and taking notes, because I just feel there's so much information in there, and so many of the things I didn't really understand before. For example, the embryology was, I hadn't really understood it, and I found that the way that you explain things very visually is really helpful for me. And and also I felt like the way that you teach it allowed me to embody it a lot more. And it just broke things down into these sort of more accessible chunks in a way, and was very thorough. And I still feel I need to go back and just go over a lot of the information all over again.
Okay. Did you do it when you took the course? Did you do it week by week, or how did you? Or did you give yourself quite a lot of time for it? How much time do you feel you applied to it at the beginning?
I just, I just gave it as much time as it needed, really, and I printed out the PDFs so that I'd have those to look at. And then I finished the course, and I still haven't finished the exam because I feel like I want to get everything right. So I'm sort of going back to the beginning again and taking more notes. And
okay, but you've got until November. You've been on the course now for, was it 4 months, something like that?
Yeah.
So you've got quite a bit of time. Do you think that you will still be using the whole year to like revisit the material?
Yeah, I think I will, because I'm doing some teachings this year, further trainings for teachers, and I'm doing the first module I'm teaching is hands-on work, and I'm using a lot of the kind of, the understanding I've gained to help me teach that work. So I think I'm going to keep on going back over certain things and just getting it, feeling like I've really understood it. And I find the sort of, remembering all the names of things, fibroblasts and fibrocytes and all these things, and you need to kind of go back over it and think, actually, what is this? What does this mean? And I found some of the other things where you were demonstrating, plasticity, or you had the band and the plastic bag, and those were kind of, in a way, easier to understand than some of the other more complex things.
Yeah, I think what is useful is to also perhaps be involved with a Facebook group.
Yeah. It's very interactive, the course. I found that really helpful to feel that you were there and you were responding, and when I made comments, you would answer. That was nice. It felt very human.
Great. Well, I'm pleased to know that, because it was a very important part, that courses online, that we would still maintain a level of contact with people that is kind of feeling like I'm not losing that connection that we have with teaching.
No, it feels very personal, which is really nice.
Oh, I'm glad that you felt that way.
But at the same time, you feel able to do it in your own time, which if you're really busy is great, because you don't have to go, all the way to somewhere to do the course. You can just do it bit by bit.
Yeah, which is what is great, is to be able to give people the flexibility. And not have to travel to somewhere.
To Brighton.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So you think that the course then has given you a deeper understanding of fascia? What's it like?
Definitely. I think it's given me an understanding of, what sort of what's under my hands, really, when I'm touching, and also the whole idea of the way that the fascia responds to hands has been very useful to think about again. And just looking at, some of the concepts, again, elastic recoil and biotensegrity, have been quite inspiring, just sort of giving me lots of ideas about how do I teach this, when I'm looking at the body and so on. And so I've got lots of new, let's say, a bit more, more language going into my work.
Lovely. That's really great to hear.
Yeah, it's a great way of framing the work sometimes when you've learnt something new like that, and also it's helped me think about maybe some of the things which are not so great in the yoga world, like the focus on stretching and stuff. And how do I kind of teach people, actually, maybe this isn't such a great idea to be endlessly stretching.
So the complicated concepts, then, do you feel like you found application for them as well? Because obviously it's not about learning on all these words. The words don't really matter, do they? It's more the understanding of how it behaves that that is an important part that obviously we've been bringing up with all the webinars that we've been running on the role of anatomy as a movement teacher. Concepts like, what is a fibrocyte and how does it, change the state to being a fibroclast or a fibroblast. Obviously, these words are very abstract, but it's important if people can find the relevance in understanding the way that fascia connective tissue behaves.
I think it's definitely helped me think about, even just the way that you're placing a stress on the body, in the same place over and over again. And so some of those more complex ideas, you can translate them into quite simple application. And I think some of the little lessons with the seri idea was really nice as well, and I've used that in my work as well.
Lovely. It's great to know that people are using seri. I'm really excited about that. Lovely. So you found that is useful in your own body as well?
Very, very useful, yeah. I sort of feel like I need to do more, but it's a good beginning.
Yeah, it's a good foundation. That's great. I think a lot of people are going to listen to your story and go, that is great, but Caroline has got such a huge practice behind her. So I think that some of the people that have not been teaching perhaps for that long and haven't got the experience that you have, they might find it a little daunting to know that you are coming with all that experience and still saying, well, some of those concepts were actually quite complicated. Well, if you met a teacher that was thinking of doing the course, do you want to let us know anything else?
I think the thing is that they are quite complicated, but in a way, I think you've made it very accessible. And the thing about the material is you can go back over and over it and watch those little videos. For quite some time. Plus, you've got the printouts and the extra reading. So, anyone can do it really, and I would recommend it to all movement teachers, definitely. In fact, I have a friend who I've already given her the information. So, who's a Pilates teacher. So, yeah, I think it's accessible for everyone.
Do you want to let us know what it is that you're doing so that people can know where to find you as well?
Oh, sure, yes. Well, I'm based in South East London, and the modules are running in South East London at a yoga studio called Retreat. And the first one is on April the 20th, I think, and then they run throughout the year. They're 100-hour modules for yoga teachers.
Thank you so much for joining me and doing this and letting everyone know, your own experience, because I think it's very useful for people to see someone that has gone through the online course.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much as well for the way that you've presented the work. I really appreciate it. Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See you online.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.